Good morning. A presidential debate may be in the cards after all, at least one of them anyway. The negotiations are still kind of at arm's length right now, but the subject did come up yesterday as former President Trump tried to draw a contrast with Vice President Harris by taking questions from the media in a lengthy news conference.
The honeymoon period's going to end. It's about policy. It's not about her. I think she's incompetent because I've watched her. She destroyed California. She destroyed San Francisco. Everything she's touched has turned to bad things. She wants open borders. She wants to defund the police.
As for debates, Trump is now talking about 3 possible dates.
We've agreed with Fox on a date of September 4th. We've agreed with NBC, fairly full agreement, subject to them, on September 10th. And we've agreed with ABC on September 25th. The other side has to agree to the terms. They may or may not agree. But I look forward to the debates because I think we have to set the record straight.
Harris, who did, in fact, answer questions from the media yesterday for about 90 seconds, is willing to do at least one of them.
President Trump had a press conference today. He talked about a lot of things. Wonder if you have a reaction to what he talked about.
Well, I'm glad that he's finally agreed to a debate on September 10th. I'm looking forward to it and hope he shows up.
Are you open to more debates?
I am happy to have that conversation about an additional debate for after September 10th, for sure.
He proposed two more debates.
Like I said, happy to have that conversation.
A conversation, but no commitment yet to any other debates. Harris is heading to Arizona today. Trump is going to Montana, and he was asked yesterday about the large crowds that the Harris-Walz ticket is drawing.
Are you worried at all about the size of Harris's crowds?
Oh, give me a break. Listen, I had 107,000 people in New Jersey. You didn't report it. I'm so glad you asked. What did she have yesterday? 2,000 people? If I ever had 2,000 people, you'd say my campaign is finished.
The Harris campaign, meantime, had to update its website yesterday after a controversy over her running mate's military service record. It no longer says that Governor Tim Walz retired as a command sergeant major. In truth, his rank dropped when he decided to retire from the National Guard.
Is it anime? Are we getting into the anime memes now? There's a rule on this program, which is that I watch the memes live with you. Every single day, we have a brand new meme for the program having to do with the news cycle. And I watch the memes live. I'm not a fan of anime. Don't come for me in the comment sections. Don't come for me in the chat. Don't! We watch the chat. We were literally watching the chat day and night. And we love the chat, and we love you. But don't come for me in the comment section. Not a fan of anime. I just don't watch it. Don't watch it. Don't hate it. I'm not against it. Very interesting. Our first ever anime meme. Can we make cartoons now? Holy moly. Unlimited power is what we feel on this program as we are able to reveal to you what was once in the darkness shall come into the light. And we, ladies and gentlemen, shall help in salting that light. Ladies and gentlemen, today on the program, we're going to show you never-before-seen body cam footage from the seconds before President Trump's attempted assassination, and we're going to show you how the entire thing was clearly a setup. There's no other way to watch this program today. It will be empirical for you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, and why there has to be a grand jury impaneled in Butler, Pennsylvania, to start charging people who are responsible for this. You're not going to believe what we're about to show you. Why would a cop that saw the assassin on the roof with the firearm, why would he run the other direction? You're not going to believe your eyes. Today is Friday, August 9th, 2024. Kamala Harris refuses more debates with Donald Trump. Donald Trump has offered 3 debates. Amazing. Who indeed is the chicken. Donald Trump body camera footage, man, is going to be tough to watch. You're going to have a lot of questions. And wait till you see who we have as a guest today. Not Tim Walz, who's Kamala Harris's Stolen Valor vice presidential nominee, but Michael Waltz, who is a decorated and honorable member of the U.S. military and Congress, and who is also on the task force to officially investigate the shooting of President Trump. So we have quite a few questions for him. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. Stay connected with us. As we have always said, the best way to do that is with our friends at Patriot Mobile, who provide the phones and the service and the connectivity for this program. We are going to be heading to the DNC. Oh, yeah. We got some special programming for you. Oh, I wish I could announce it right now. We got some special programming for you. The Benny Bunker at the DNC, live from inside of Trump Tower in Chicago, is where we're going to be. I'm very happy to announce. And this is going to be powered, ladies and gentlemen, by Patriot Mobile, who keeps us connected on the road. Go to patriotmobile.com/Benny, call 972-PATRIOT. Right now, get a free month with the offer code Benny. Stay connected. Best service around on all three of the major networks. And you're not funding the libs. 1 month of free service today, patriotmobile.com/Benny. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, at the very end of the day, finally, the cops were forced to release the body cam footage of the Trump shooting. Now, you're going to see something, and we're just going to jump right into it. You're going to see something that's going to inspire probably rage and anger in you. Mainly because there is a horrible trend right now of police, whether it's Uvalde or Parkland shootings, running from danger. The iconic photo of the Secret Service agent, one of the Lady Ghostbusters, as we call them, hiding behind President Trump, using President Trump as a human shield. Make sure we have that photo handy for today's show, boys. It's going to be important. So, what did we find out yesterday? Well, I'm going to do a play-by-play with you amazing how it falls to us to make the premier documentaries about what happened to President Trump during and at the shooting. You know, we actually went there. I've actually climbed onto this roof. I've actually put a GoPro on, and for your viewing pleasure, for lack of a better way to say it, crawled the rooftop so that you could see what Thomas Crook saw when he took the shots. And we have our documentary. It's been seen by almost 8 million people. It's on its way to 10 million views on X alone. So we encourage you to watch it. But we didn't have this footage when we made that documentary and released it last week. This footage really changes everything. It's going to elicit anger in you. It's going to elicit rage in you. We're going to do a side-by-side because this body cam footage is always tough. The camera sit here on the body. Sit right here. So you're seeing just chest level, not eye level, right? Which would be far better if you had like a helmet cam, then you can actually see. You're seeing the chest level. And it's also very shaky, and they're not the best quality cameras. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the footage. I'm going to talk you through what's going on. This is the footage that was released yesterday that shows that the shooter was totally allowed to take the shot at Trump. Not just allowed, like was encouraged by law enforcement to take shots at President Trump. It's wild, but there's more to it than meets the eye. Here we go. Okay, so, yeah, let's go full. So, what you're going to see here is the cop being asked to be lifted up to the roof. Now, I've climbed up this roof in this exact spot. So, this is a tall roof. It's probably 10, 11 feet tall. You definitely need a ladder. You're definitely going to need like some help getting up there. So they know there is someone suspicious on the roof, and it's been reported that he has a firearm. It's been reported that he has a gun. We know this because everyone's been filming him, and cops have surrounded the building. So this officer, I do not know the officer's name. It hasn't been released. This officer says, "Put me up on the roof." So he gets his fellow officer to hoist him up to the rooftop. Again, quite a climb. It's a tall roof. I had to do it with a ladder, and a pretty tall ladder. So here goes the cop up on the roof. Now, this is where we need to pause. I have examined every frame of this footage. This is the incident that we have reported where the police officer engages the shooter. So what you can see here is that the police officer doesn't even get onto the rooftop. All right? He's just chest level. You're just able to see chest level, and you're not able to see the shooter. That's because it's a chest cam. It's not a head cam. If you had a head cam, you'd be able to see Thomas Crooks. And what this police officer, this cop, local state cop, was able to see, county cop, was able to see, was a gunman on the roof with a firearm. Now, you'd say, in this second, in this moment, well, listen, pal, it's between you or President Trump getting shot. Okay? The guy's up there. He has a clear line of sight to the president. You've now seen in this moment that President Trump is in grave danger. And so many people at this rally are in grave danger of getting shot. I mean, the guy could have just opened fire on the rally as well. And he did, obviously. Murdering a good man, Corey Compentor, critically wounding 2 others. So right here is where your training needs to kick in. You need to grab your firearm in your holster, and you need to just engage the guy. Maybe go tackle him. Yeah, he's a doofus. He's like a lumbering. This is not some trained, sophisticated person. Well, he might have been trained. I guess we'll find out who trained him. But he clearly is not some type of like sophisticated professional. It's like a goofball in jorts, long hair, looks like an Antifa member, lumbering and acting quite like psychotic. So you see him here, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to belabor this, but this is going to enrage you what happens next. Right here, right now, this man could have stopped it all. You have an officer on the roof. We're going to talk about the failings in just a moment. The other structural failings of what happened here. But here we go. What happens next? Retreat. Retreat. Now, there's no audio on the video. We can't find any of these videos with audio. There's no audio on the video. So we don't know what he's saying. We can't hear what he's saying. The guy runs away! I try not to yell. I really am going to try not to yell, and I'm sorry that I yelled. I try not to curse, I try not to yell. But but it makes my blood boil within me. He sprints, and I have walked these grounds. He runs. This is a huge building. He's running really, really far away. He sees the shooter. He sees all these people, Trump, but also all of his brethren. Dude, it's your job to protect the people of your county. This is a police officer from the local jurisdiction. What about all the people that live there that you've sworn to protect? And you run the other direction? You just run away because a bad guy pointed a gun at you? You have a gun. You just let him go? You just let him go. And you just run, you run about an acre away. You run for the hills. Man, I gotta tell you, this just pisses me off. I'm gonna let the video play here. You're gonna hear the audio pick up here in just a moment. And what you're gonna find is the guy who can't even get into his patrol car, like, erratic, frenetic, desperately trying, like so shook that he's like trying to load his clip. Can't get it loaded. Here we go. All right. You hear the heavy breathing? Dude, you have a sidearm. You have a sidearm. What are you doing? So he goes to go get like a... You know a bullet is like pretty much the same, whether it's fired out of an AR-15, with fire out of, sometimes, depending on the handgun, It can be a much larger caliber, a much more powerful bullet. Why did you need to retreat to go grab this guy? This is a guy's brain, scrambled eggs. This is a cop's brain, scrambled eggs. I am so sick of seeing coward cops in Uvalde, the Parkland shooting. You know there are cops at both of those locations, all those kids died, that could have just engaged the shooters and saved, I don't know, dozens of lives. President Trump he ate a bullet. He ate a bullet. And that bullet, without the miraculous hand of God, which I believe with every fiber of my being, that it was a miracle that we witnessed that day. That bullet was intended to kill Trump, and damn well should have. Based on his trajectory, based on the physics of the moment, that bullet was intended to blow out the back of Trump's brain. It could have just as easily went right through his neck, hit him in the chest, and that's the end. There it is. That's the end. And this coward saw the shooter, and ran away. He was literally face to face, and he ran the other direction. What's the point of cops? It's breathtaking to me. Really, like honestly, where is masculinity? Where is bravery? Where'd it go? Sure, the guy has a firearm. This is what you signed up for. Tackle him. Wrestle him. Get it away from him. Do you have a vest on? Don't you have a firearm in your holster on your side? Right there on your hip? You also have a firearm. Okay, so you're equal, but you have training. You're paid by the taxpayers to literally do this. You swore an oath. Where's your honor? There it is. More retreat. More retreat.
This close, bro. Dude, he turned around on me. He's straight up.
He turned around on me. Do you hear the cop? I know I'm going hard on this dude. I don't know this dude. If I even learned his name, I wouldn't say it, okay? Because I know who the real enemy is here. There's somebody who's actually the bad person here. So let me pivot, which is important because I've thought all this through. So you must take these things in bite-sized pieces of data as you learn them, and then zoom out and zoom out and zoom out, right? If you're ever looking for a crime, you have to look for co-conspirators. You have to look at who's actually involved. If you're going to take down the mafia, then you can't just take down like one guy standing outside of the club and say you took down the mafia. You need to zoom out and take down the entire infrastructure for what allows for the horrible thing to happen. So we're going to do that in just a second. I'm being hard on this guy. I don't know this guy. I don't intend on ever publishing, anything about him. Even if I knew it, I wouldn't publish anything. But I'm telling you, where has masculinity gone? The guy just said, oh, he turned around on me. He had a gun. You have a gun! But also, you're a sworn law enforcement officer who's here with a rally of like 10,000 people, of your people from your county. And the guy has a firearm, he's pointing it at them. I know it sucks that it falls to you. It also falls to like the boys who stormed the beaches of Normandy and the firefighters who run into the Twin Towers. But sometimes it just falls to you to be brave. You just have to say, F it, it's me. I'm the guy on the rooftop, and I'm the guy standing between this guy and a guy. I can stop it all right now. I got to charge the guy with the gun. I'm on the rooftop, and it's me. It falls to me. And there's no other way around it. I got to be brave. It's going to be me. I think every father and every good man in this country thinks about this a lot in terms of like his family or some threat to his family. That's the way I think about it. It's like, we're armed to the teeth in my household. And I'm ready. I'm ready in my household to do what is required if somebody threatens my family. You just have to be ready for these contingencies in a modern world and in every world. Society is upheld by masculine men doing masculine things, and that often means bravery and getting hurt and putting yourself in danger for the sake of the innocent. How many kids were at that rally? How many grannies were at that rally? How many good men? How many of your firefighter friends were at that rally? One of them took a bullet to the head. And this guy, if you had just gotten up on that roof and bravely charged this coward, then you would have disrupted the whole thing. There would have been no shot on President Trump. Sometimes it falls to you. That's what you sign up for, man. Here we go.
Okay, we have 2 civilians attending to him.
So as far as I know, and producers, please correct me here, there hasn't been, the shooting hasn't occurred yet. Correct me if I'm wrong here, producers, but there's no, the assassin hasn't shot. I don't see a timestamp on this. Oh, wait, okay, here we go. I do see a timestamp. There we go, right at the very top. Okay, so it's a minute before the shooter shoots. I'm going to go back here. Let's look at the timestamp here. Wow. So this is 3 minutes before any shots were fired. 3 whole minutes. Sorry for the jump in the, sorry for the jump in the video. But I had to look. You can see up at the very top in military time. This is 3 minutes before shots were fired. So the guy just retreats? So he just retreats behind
He was right where you picked me up, bro. He was on that left side.
It's ASAP. I mean, ASAP. Ladies and sharp. In the stairs, the floor stands.
Oh, man.
I need an ambulance for the back of the corn.
Now you can hear, now you can hear the firearms. Now you can hear the shooter.
Get them out of here! Get them out! Yo, Blasco. Yo, you about to hop up. He's laying down. He's on our next building over. Right after the gap. He's got glasses, long hair. Need a ladder. She's gonna hole. Yo, Mike. I climbed the wall and I popped my head right in front of him, bro. He's got a book bag. He's got mag. AR laying down. Yeah, he's laying down, prone out, book bag next to him.
Give me a hard line.
Most sections over here. Straight up section over here. That's why I got Collins up there.
But watch out, because he can come right down on you over there.
Oh, this is gonna drop. Hold. Keep eyes on. Give me a ladder. No, eyes up. See that map?
Bruh.
Follow the ambulance to the stands.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep this playing. You can see what happens, but you've heard everything, and you've seen it all. This assassin was allowed to shoot Trump. Allowed. Now, I've taken it out pretty hard on this individual local law enforcement agent. It sucks, man. Sometimes it's you. And this is what bravery actually means. Bravery means that you decide to selflessly act on behalf of the innocent to save them. This is the opposite of bravery. Bravery would have been, hey, this evil man is pointing a firearm at me. I am going to save the thousands of people that he may potentially target. I am the man with the badge. I am the one person standing between him and an act of horror unimaginable. That bullet was intended for President Trump to be a live TV execution of the president. That was what was supposed to happen here. A live TV execution of Donald Trump. I am the man who's going to prevent that. And you rush that person, and you just do everything in your power to take him out. quite frankly, given the intensity of the moment, you probably succeed. These are the situations, and here we go. You can see getting back. There he goes, back up on the roof. Now that the shooter is gone. So there he goes, back up on the roof. Now that the shooter's gone. So I'm going to deal with this in bite-sized pieces, all right? One is this individual officer. Sorry, man. You know what? Sucks, but you just happen to be the officer at Parkland Elementary School. You just happen to, Uvalde Elementary School, Parkland Middle School, you just happen to be the officers that day. It falls to you to now save the children. It's just your job. You signed up for it, you swore an oath, you got the badge, you have the firearm, you have rights. There are rules of engagement, and now you follow them and you save people. And you become the hero. That's it. That's what the term hero means. Acts above and beyond is what they award in the military. Above and beyond the call of duty is what they say in the military for people getting special commendations and the highest honors. Bro, when everything like this is on the line, when all of this is at stake and it falls to you, you must be ready. You must be prepared. And now I tell you, I feel bad for the guy. Okay? So here comes the downshift and the tone change based on everything that we've done and the documentaries that we produced and all that I've seen about all this. Now I feel bad for him. The reason why is because these local dudes, these local towny cops aren't ready for this stuff. You could see him. Do you see the shaking hands? Do you see him pawing at the door, unable to open his own squad car door, unable to load his own magazine, sitting and cowering behind the car, running, literally physically running away? He allowed, yes, this officer allowed the shooter to shoot. But who really allowed all of this to happen? This officer should have never been in this position. 5 things coalesced, 5 security failures combined to create a kill box for President Trump. We detail all of them in our documentary. Every one of those things was the responsibility of the Secret Service. Now ask yourself just a question here. If that man, let's say that man did behave in a cowardly fashion and ran away, okay? Which he did. There is no other way to say it. He just ran away. He saw the threat and he ran from it. As the officer of the law, I'm sorry, to protect and serve is your creed. You did the opposite of protect and serve. You protected and served yourself. Okay? I'm sorry, I'm not going to take it easy on this guy. Come for me in the comments. This is my take on it, right? It is what you sign up for. Okay. Gone hard enough on this dude. Don't know who he is. Again, if I find out who he is, I won't ever say his name. All right. That officer should have never been in that position. That shooter should have never been in that position. That officer should have been able to pick up his radio and to say, hey guys, there's an effing shooter on the roof. I need you to take the president off stage now. I mean now. I just saw the shooter. He pointed a gun at me and get the president down now. Guess why he couldn't do that? They had no communication with the Secret Service. Secret Service skipped their walkthroughs. Secret Service didn't even talk to these guys. Secret Service didn't station a guy on the roof. Secret Service wasn't flying a drone. Secret Service didn't put snipers in position to take this guy out. Secret Service didn't have anybody on the watchtower. Secret Service didn't flag this guy and arrest him when he tried to enter the Trump rally. You know that? Oh, you skipped that. Okay. Thomas Crooks tried to enter the Trump rally with the rangefinder. Secret Service flagged him, didn't arrest him. Why the hell would you do that? Why would you let him free? Why would you put somebody up on that rooftop? Why didn't you communicate with local law enforcement? I'm going to take that officer in a vacuum and say, shame on you. But now I'm going to zoom back out and say, actually, you know what? I feel sorry for you. Because like a local statey, a local towny cop should not be in that position. There's so much. He's not trained for it. These guys make like 30 grand a year. He's not trained for it. The Secret Service is trained for it to the tune of billions of dollars per year. 7,000 agents. And these guys all come, like a lot of these guys come from special forces and elite training units. They are prepared for this moment. You saw Secret Service agents jump on Trump. Might have taken a little bit. Seemed weirdly delayed to me. But nonetheless, you saw Secret Service agents, at least some of them, put it up, jump on Trump. Some of them, you know what I mean? Some of them. Some other agents were waiting for Lady Ghostbusters 2 and their starring role. Can't put that in jeopardy. Make sure you use make sure you use Trump's body, jackass. Make sure you use Trump's body as a shield for you. You know, because after all, you're the protectee. You're the victim. That's what your DEI training manual taught you. Make sure you use the president's body to shield yourself, you scum. Gosh, it makes me so angry. The whole thing makes me so angry. Now I absolve the poor officer. Now I absolve him. We zoom out and we say, why was this man in this position in the first place? Why? The Secret Service put that man in this position. And this poor, young man does not have the training or the fortitude or the combat experience, probably never had a firearm pointed at him. And I can now that you zoom out and you can completely see what's going on, he didn't even have a way to contact the Secret Service to say, get Trump off the roof. Now, he saw a guy with a gun and it pointed at him, and for 3 straight minutes, they kept Trump on the roof. Do you understand? Do you understand? It was a kill box. It's a 3-dimensional area that was created around Trump in order to facilitate the maximum probability of a fatality. That's what was created around Trump. The snipers had this guy in their sight. We have footage that shows the shooter literally lumbering around the rooftop, lumbering up on the rooftop with his full chest and his full body exposed. The Secret Service snipers that were positioned there atop the Red Barn behind Trump, they saw this guy. They saw him. But nobody communicated. Nobody said he's got a gun. The officer that had engaged him, and presumably, actually, this is when you see him disappear here in the clip. Let's play it one more time, please. You see him running there. Presumably, he just engaged the officer right there. Because if you line up the timelines here, this is 3 minutes before he shoots. So he actually ducks down in order to point a gun at the officer, and then he pops back up. Full head, full torso. Easy money for these snipers. Who gave the stand down order? Who told him not to fire? The Secret Service. Why wasn't an officer up on that roof? You know it's a lot better for that poor young man, that officer who's put in that position. I'm now going to, I'm not officially taking anyone's side here. I'm now going to argue in his defense. Because he's not in charge. Not only that, his chief isn't in charge. Not only that, the mayor of the county isn't in charge. Not only that, the governor of Pennsylvania isn't in charge. No one's in charge except for the Secret Service. The only people responsible for all of this is the Secret Service. Why the F wasn't an officer on that rooftop? Now, let me ask you something. And I'm not a trained security professional, okay? I'm not winning any sharpshooting competitions. You wouldn't want me protecting if you owned a dive bar in a college town, you wouldn't want me bouncing out front of the club, okay? Out front of your bar, okay? I'm no security professional. Well, I'll tell you this. Wouldn't you prefer to have engaged Thomas Crooks as he was lumbering across the rooftops? Gangly, goofy-looking guy. You can see him moving around. He's not Jason Bourne. Wouldn't you have preferred to engage him from a position stationed on the roof? Shouldn't there have been a team stationed on the roof right there? Ready to just spin around? And as his goofy ass comes clomping around, there's a series of interconnected roofs on the AGR building there in Butler, Pennsylvania. As he comes and starts like dorkily slomping along the roof, like you're just like, hey, pal, See ya. Stop right there. So in defense of that officer climbing up into a prone position, having someone point a firearm down on you is a bad place to be. You know that. I know that. We're not security professionals. He's been put into a horrible position. There's a armed and dangerous man pointing a firearm down on you, right? You've been put in a horrible position. That's bad. Shouldn't someone have been on the roof? Get a load of this. Here's the new footage from officers looking at the Secret Service and saying, I effing told you guys you need to station a guy on this roof. I effing told you that on Tuesday, says the officers. Listen to this audio.
Told them they need to post the guys over here. I told them that the Secret Service. I told them that Tuesday. I told them to post guys over here.
I have no contact with either one.
What?
I thought you guys were on the roof.
No, we're inside.
Alpha 1, Bravo 1. Thank you.
I told them to post guys over here.
I wasn't even concerned about it because I thought someone was on the roof. No. I thought that's how we. Like, how now can you lose a guy walking back here?
They were
on the roof.
They were inside.
Why were we not in the building?
Because
you need to go somewhere over on the left side.
Why weren't we?
Because I thought we were going to post guys over here. I talked to the Secret Service guys. They're like, yeah, no problem. We're going to post guys over here.
So you have these local law enforcement saying that the Secret Service actually heard their concerns, listened to their recommendations. You know, they're the local guys. I mean, they actually know this area. And then the Secret Service agents decided to say, nope, we're going to ensure that President Trump is as threatened inside of a kill box as we possibly can get. Let's continue. Local police telling the Secret Service they effed up to their faces. This is remarkable footage out yesterday.
Is he a shooter? Did he have a weapon? Is he?
That was the report.
I thought you were on the roof. I thought it was you. What? I thought you guys were on the roof.
No. We're inside.
Why were we not on the roof?
Football from 16 to go somewhere over on the left side.
Why weren't we? I'd say this is a up.
Sorry, not sure which gas company.
Somebody up.
This is an F up. Somebody effed up. Yeah. Yeah, we'll show you who effed up. Just a small clip from our documentary this weekend will show you exactly what happened. They created a kill box around President Trump. A box for maximum failure of all security systems and the maximum probability of a death of the protectee. Communications collapse, open rooftops in every direction, no security, all the way up, like security dead zones, all the way up to where President Trump is standing, no overwatch, and no plan. You see the Secret Service? You see the Secret Service agent there in his little suit? Who's where? What's going on? What a egregious humiliation to the agency. You can see now why people are writing internal communications inside the agency being, I'm ashamed to be part of the Secret Service now. There's a whistleblower inside the Secret Service that wrote a message. It's like, we look cool doing our jobs. We don't know what the F we're doing. We're not protecting anyone. And this is now provable. Watch. Heart racing, the assassin holds his breath and looks down the scope at President Trump. People scream he's got a gun as police officers surround the building. But no one has stopped him. Just a football field away from the president. Counter snipers see the threat but have not engaged. The trigger is pulled. A bullet rips through Trump's ear. Blood splatters Trump's MAGA hat and pours down the side of his face into his hands. Several more bullets riddle the stage. Counter-sniper teams engage and miss. Then, hit. Trump rises in defiance, fist in the air. Fight, fight, fight. 20 seconds in Pennsylvania will change America forever. Yet the government has told us nothing. In fact, the Secret Service has lied to the American people multiple times about that day. We needed answers, so our team traveled to Butler, Pennsylvania, the Assassination site. What we found is worse than you can possibly imagine. This is the Trump kill box. This documentary, which pretty amazing, like this is should be a moment that everyone from Hollywood executive producers to every head of every major news show should be rushing to Butler to try and figure out how this happened and why it happened. Nope, it falls to us. Falls to us. Falls to a bunch of dudes, right? To like travel there with members of Congress and say, what did happen? That documentary has now been seen by over 10 million Americans. And to our knowledge, it's the only documentary out there that even begins to ask the questions as to how this happened. Luckily, ladies and gentlemen, there are some members of Congress who you can see here. Let's see, what's the view count out? 7.8 million. All right. This is just on X alone. You know, like, listen. It's our honor to do documentaries like this. It's our obligation to do it. I wish there was more curiosity about this, but you and I both know why there isn't. We know why there isn't. Trump survived. That's why. Trump survived. And not only does this make Trump look like an absolute lion, American badass, and brave, showing much more bravery and composure than the police officers who engaged the shooter that day and ran away, much more bravery and intelligence and fortitude than the Secret Service who allowed this kill box to go forward. I don't really care about your intentions. Your intentions are what you thought in your head or your heart is meaningless to me. I care about the result. And the result of your gross negligence is Trump ate a bullet and good men are dead. And so it just doesn't matter to me. Criminal charges for all of you. Because these are the results. It just doesn't care. If I lock my dog in a hot car and something awful happens right on a hot day here in Florida, it just doesn't matter my intentions. The judge doesn't ask, like, what will you think? You know, what was in your heart that day, though? Did you love your doggy? No. I get put in jail. Cop smashes my window. I get charged. My name gets splattered in the paper as somebody who did something. Criminal negligence. Criminal negligence led to a horrible thing happening, and I go to prison. Happens every day. So who's going to jail for the criminal negligence that led to Trump eating a bullet and good men dying? And we can see it clear as day now in the new body cam footage. Nobody knew what was going on. The officers had no way to contact anyone. They weren't trained for this. The Secret Service is responsible, and the Secret Service ignored local police on top of all of the other failures. Hot damn. Do we ever have a bee in our bonnet over this? And we're not letting go. A dog with a bone, man. We're not letting go. Somebody who could maybe answer some of these questions because he is on the official task force that had been appointed by Mike Johnson, Speaker Mike Johnson, in the House of Representatives, is Congressman Mike Waltz. He is on the House Armed Services Committee. He's a retired colonel, 27-year veteran in the Army National Guard, combat decorated Green Beret. And ladies and gentlemen, he is investigating the assassination into President Donald Trump, and he joins the show live now. Congressman, I don't want to mess your name up, okay? I know there's been I saw you post on X the other day. It's Waltz, not Walls. And so I want to make sure I'm saying that correctly, because
with a T for Trump.
All right,
think about it that way. Waltz with a T for Trump. And I don't think I think MSNBC will stop showing my picture over walls. My poor staff that has to answer the phones. And by the way, when my nation called, I was a commander of a unit. I didn't find a way to walk away from it, but I know we'll talk about that in a minute. We went into the fight and led my Green Berets to the sound of the guns.
I would like to perhaps we just put that up right now because, you know, we would like to tell our audience who may potentially be unfamiliar with your service a little bit about you and why you are good for this task force and what you will be looking into, because so few here you are in, is this Afghanistan?
That's Afghanistan. Yep.
Okay. So you know what it's like to be shot at. And you know what it's like.
Yeah.
Yes, and presumably you know what it's like to create a protection zone for high value targets and assets. You understand what this means in a combat zone, and quite frankly, when a president is anywhere, it is a combat zone. You have to treat it like that. And since we've been talking about this new body cam footage and some of the grotesque failures that are now evident from the first person perspective of the cops on the ground, like, can you just like begin by telling us what you see as the greatest failures on this day?
Well, look, I see it in three buckets. It's obviously what happened that day. And thank you for getting out on the ground with Corey Mills, with Eli Crane, two trained snipers that know what the hell they're talking about, and great veterans in their own right. There's what happened that day, but there's also the fact that Trump's detail, his core detail, was repeatedly denied resources. I have agents telling me that the morning after the assassination attempt. And why were those denials? What the agents are telling me is that they repeatedly were rebuffed because Secret Service headquarters didn't want to expend all of their budget on extra agents, the overtime, the travel, all of and all of those pieces. So that core issue then leads to what happened that day and why President Trump's core detail then had to rely on local police, had to rely on HSI agents from Homeland Security and others. And then you get into the breakdowns between comms, between what happened in the advance, between how the hell that building was left outside of the security zone, and no one knew, which we can see now in the body cam footage. No one knew really who was supposed to have coverage for it, when literally you have a Secret Service agent and a local officer saying, wait, I thought you had it. No, wait, you were supposed to have it. So you have that complete breakdown in both planning and communication. But look, Benny, I think there's broader issues here. That is training, recruitment, DEI, and how that affected, with Secret Service Director Cheadle saying that she had a goal of 30% women. I have no problem with women in the Secret Service, but you better be able to carry a 200-pound protectee to a secure spot. And so, it's almost, there's so many issues. It's really focusing the task force on where to start. And I think we start with what happened that day and then go back to why his core detail, which was treated. Look, here's how the Secret Service does it. They say, you know what? You've gone from current president to former president. We budget for so many officers. And whether you're Jimmy Carter sitting in an old folks home, whether you're H.W. Bush or W. Bush painting in his barn, or whether you're Trump, you get the same size. Don't ask for more. That's what the agents were told me they got back from their headquarters, and that is wholly unacceptable. And then on top of that, very quickly, because this just happened, you have the foreign threats. You have Iran with active assassination attempts. You had an Iranian operative transit Venezuela. The Miami FBI field office puts out a public notice because they lost them coming over our southern border, actively recruiting hitmen and assassins. Then just last week, you have an indictment go out of a Pakistani national with ties to Iran, recruiting not only hitmen, but spotters and protesters as a distraction, a pretty sophisticated spot. And what does Garland do? He just does a news dump late in the afternoon one day, doesn't even name Trump, calls him a politician, and tries to bury the thing. Well, what message does that send Iran? That sends them, hey, we can just keep trying until we get away with it because Biden's DOJ is not going to do a damn thing about it. It's really mind-blowing what we're watching in real time. A foreign enemy trying to assassinate a president, and Biden's DOJ basically shrugging their shoulders.
And rolling out the red carpet, quite frankly, because what you're doing in this scenario, like in Butler specifically, is just leaving Trump wide open. Not just that one rooftop, but multiple rooftops. We counted 7 within trained sniper distance that had a clear shot on the president, and would have potentially been easier for a sophisticated operator because there would have been less people around. And
but
this is,
Vinny, I mean, I think we should call it what it is, which is weaponization by denial. We saw them. I mean, we've seen the Biden White House throw everything they've got at him, between trying to take him off of a ballot, obviously trying to put him in jail by weaponizing the Justice Department. Now they're literally, it's weaponization by denial of resources. We're not going to approve additional resources, even though the threat's through the roof. And one thing that came out of the hearing with Cheadle was of the extra agents at the Pittsburgh field office, 12 of them went to Dr. Jill Biden's event, clearly not the same threat level, and only 3 were sent to supplement the core detail at an outdoor rally with an active Iranian plot. That's weaponization in and of itself. And once again, Garland, Mayorkas, and the whole crew, I've never seen anything like it in my professional career.
They were all protecting Kamala Harris on RuPaul's Drag Race, and President Trump has to eat a bullet because of it. And that bullet was intended to be a live TV execution. Now, just because you are somebody who has faced the enemy and has faced enemy fire and has faced people pointing weapons at you, and very, very few members of our elected intelligentsia have been in that position. I want to get your thoughts on this body camera footage. I know we played it just a second ago, and you just mentioned it, of this officer looking at the shooter. And the shooter points a gun at him, at least that's the story, and he retreats and runs away. Now, I'm not a law enforcement officer.
Yeah.
I'm just a dude, okay? I do practice my Second Amendment rights, and I am, like, quite frankly, prepared if anybody threatens my family. Sometimes it just falls to you, man, right? Like, sometimes it's just, you're just the firefighter who has a shift during September 11th. You know, sometimes, like, the brave act falls to you. But, you know, we talked about this clip earlier on in the show. I want to get what were your initial thoughts when you saw this officer who's on the rooftop with the shooter, and he just kind of runs very, very far the other direction?
Yeah, look, your base instincts kick in, and they're pretty hard to control. Look at Trump's base instincts. I mean, he immediately sought cover, but then what was his next instinct? To stay there and to tell the world, to tell our enemies, to tell the crowd that he was okay, and that I think he would have done a Teddy Roosevelt 2.0 and finished the damn speech if they would have let him. So we saw his base instincts that day, and those were to move to the sound of the gun and stand strong. This officer, look, I'm hesitant to criticize too much. I get the reflex to duck when you see a barrel come around, but then to run the other direction, I would have found some other way on that roof. Shoot your gun in the air, get on the radio, do something to alert everyone about what was going to go down.
Yeah.
It's kind of inexplicable.
So I'm trying not to be too hard on the local statey there or county officer. You know, he's a young guy, clearly a young man. You can hear him on the, when you hear the audio kick in, and he's flustered. He's breathing heavy, and he can't get his magazine.
You can see
can't
here
get the magazine in.
Yeah, right. So so that
doesn't have his tactical training. His hands are shaking. Yeah.
Why don't you have a magazine in there, even if you don't have a round in the chamber? I mean, look how long it takes him just to get his. That's a training issue right there that we're watching real time.
These guys aren't getting billions of dollars.
The bigger issue: these guys are not trained to the level of Secret Service agents.
Yes.
They're just not. And that building should have been under the protection of the Secret Service, period. And so that's a failure of advance, and that's a failure of the site lead. And we still, right now as we speak, we still don't have any accountability. No one's been suspended. All of the chain that approved this plan is still running security operations. And that is completely, totally unacceptable. And Josh Hawley got that out in the Senate hearing from the now acting Secret Service director. He hasn't fired, suspended, laterally transferred, sidelined anybody. They're all still active.
So, Congressman, given the fact that you actually are on the committee that has the budget, the lawyers, and the subpoena power to go figure things out, when you see footage like this, he encountered the shooter 3 minutes before any shots were fired.
Right.
You just raised such a great question. Why don't you just, even if you're not in a position, I've been up on that roof, I climbed up on that roof, it's a tall roof, right? The guy doesn't have a ladder, he's hoisting himself up. I understand, listen, I get it, and we just talked about this.
Yeah.
Where is the walkie-talkie? Where is the communication? You said fire your gun. Totally, maybe. But what about just being hey, there's a guy with a gun on the roof, get Trump off the stage. No matter what you do, he must come off the stage now. Trump, off stage now. 3 whole minutes. go by. And Trump's up there talking about his immigration chart, and they just leave him in the kill box.
So
what the hell?
Benny, I know, I 100%, 110% agree with you. My understanding from talking to the agents, the protocol is ideally they're on compatible comms with the locals. And they can just all get on a same common channel, which should have been done. And that's one of the things we're going to subpoena, get to the bottom of why wasn't it. Number two, if that isn't, if you aren't able to do that, you aren't able to get on a common channel, then you have a security room with the site lead and or the special agent in charge, and with the head of that has responsibility for the locals, and they're sitting right there next to each other. So one calls it in, you hand it right over, maybe takes 5 seconds. Should have called right into the site lead in the ops room, and he turns right to the agent detail and says, Trump off the stage, gun, gun, gun. And that's it. 5 seconds at most, certainly not 3 minutes. Why that didn't happen, again, is going to come down to the site lead. We still don't know. They won't tell us who they were. I'm being told from agents it was a female out of the Pittsburgh field office that I'm also being told was a known problem across the force.
Wow.
I don't want to get any further ahead than that until we actually get them in front of us. But my position to the chairman of the committee is I don't want to wait for them to come to us and go through all the subpoena process. We should be sitting in the Secret Service headquarters. The task force needs to go to the FBI headquarters. I want to see their databases. I want to see what they're investigating. I want to see what they're doing to get into the encrypted accounts that we know he had in Belgium, New Zealand, and Germany. Why 3 different countries with 3 different types of accounts for some 19, 20-year-old kid who's a healthcare aide? The more we dig into this, the more questions I have. And for them right out the gate to say he operated alone without foreign assistance, I don't see how they have enough information to say that.
Of course not. How can you possibly jump to that conclusion?
And we haven't even started talking about the IEDs with the remote detonator. That he was also prepared to clack off a car bomb. Was he intending to send that into the crowd? Was he intending to do that as a defensive measure to get to facilitate his escape? What happened when they went and searched his room? Why was the ATF the first on the scene? That's really weird. The whole thing stinks.
Yeah, the whole thing stinks. Where was the Overwatch? Eli Crane and Corey Mills, they just couldn't get it out of their skulls that there wasn't somebody up on the water tower, that there wasn't somebody on the highest point in the whole county, actually. It's the tallest point in the whole county. Perfect overwatch over the entire event. Can see anybody. Could have seen crooks lumbering across the roof for 30 minutes and would have had a perfect shot on him. We flew our drone over that water tower, Congressman. Feel free. You don't need a subpoena for us. You can have all of our footage. We give it to you happily on a drive. And you can see how easy it would have been. There's the roof.
You can see the entire thing. You see the rooftop. You've got command and control. Even if you don't have a long gun up there, you have a spotter up there with comms that can talk to everyone.
Yeah, right? There's a dude on the roof. Yeah, there's so many failures. It's mind-boggling. It does seem like you've been talking with some sources about this. Yep. We haven't heard that about the agent in charge, and that this individual was a known problem. Have you heard anything else? Can you reveal anything else?
Everything's kind of clamped down, right? That everybody's everything's under investigation. But I'll also point out, I let all of this be known the day after that Trump was denied resources. They were repeatedly requested. That what the agents believe the reason was for budgetary reasons. Which is, again, that's a political decision. If they say, wait a minute, Trump is a former president doing all these rallies and going to sports events and going to MMA fights with Dana White, we're not going to expend our budget to, Jimmy Carter's not doing that. W. Bush isn't doing that. Well, I don't give a damn. He's a former president. You've got to protect him if he decides to engage the people. And then they also didn't layer on additional protection because of the Iranian threats. In fact, they pulled the protective detail from his former national security advisor, Robert O'Brien, left him completely exposed. Fortunately, the local and state police stepped in to protect him. So we've got a broader issue there on what they decided and why, and they being DHS and the Secret Service, in terms of pulling back resources as the Iranians are ramping up their assault on Israel and the threats here with the wide open border, with Venezuela facilitating it. So there's a lot to dig into, Benny. I'm happy to come back and look. And as far as what Corey and Eli are doing on an outside investigation, good. The more, the merrier. I think the more eyeballs on this and the more experts that can be brought in to look at it is all for the better.
Please, Congressman, don't lock down the information. Like, let people see what this is. Don't put this all into a black box, into a skiff, and no one's allowed to see anything other than a sanitized end product that hangs it probably all around Cheadle's neck because she's already gone. Which, I mean, it's spent 15 years in D.C. I know exactly how this PR operation is going to work. Like, don't do that. Air the lawn. Like, let people see. Final question I have for you, and this is really important. Malevolence doesn't really matter, right? Like, it doesn't really matter where your head or where your soul was. Like, you don't have to. The gross incompetence is indistinguishable from malevolence, right? The results are the same. Sure. People get hurt. Do you believe that there are people inside of our federal government that wanted President Trump hurt?
You know, I think there are people inside our federal government who thought they're not gonna expend all this time and money to help him campaign and to help him do what he wanted to do. And if he got hurt because he wanted to be so aggressive and be a candidate again, I don't think they minded. I wouldn't go so far as to presume that they wanted him to be killed, but I don't think they would have been too upset about it.
You can see the result in the plan. I mean, you can see the.
By the way, negligence is prosecutable. You know, it absolutely is. I don't think some guy who went to the bar and drank too much and drove intended to kill a family that he ran into. But it doesn't matter.
That's right.
His actions had consequences. Their inaction had consequences that were almost catastrophic for the nation and the world. So negligence can be prosecuted.
That's a great point. I love my dog so much, but I locked him in the hot car, and that's animal abuse. And people go to prison for that. But I loved him. You go to jail. Like, your bad actions led to a horrible result.
Right on.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, Congressman, thank you so much. Please be our emissary into this task force, telling us what's going on. We really look forward to you actually getting started. I hear that it's going to be a couple of weeks before the task force even meets, so that's pretty depressing.
It's Congress.
Yeah, it's Congress. Ladies and gentlemen, nearly 100,000 Americans can't be wrong following the great American serviceman and Congressman, Representative Mike Waltz. Please be one of them, and Godspeed, Congressman, in your investigation.
All right. Talk to you soon, Benny. Stay on it.
Thank you. All right. You know what? You try not to go too hard on people, right? You try not to go too hard on people. You're like, but it's maddening, this current moment that we're living in. Donald Trump actually, on a lighter note, showed everybody his ear scar yesterday. And he turns to the cameras at Mar-a-Lago. The cameras of the world are upon him. He turns to his cameras and goes, hey, look at this. I'm a fast healer, and shows everybody the scar on the top of his ear. This thing grazed the top of his ear. That's how close it was. Right there, grazed his top of his ear. Here's the clip.
Why bring it up?
Red dress.
One in the assassination, is your ear fully recovered? Is there a scar? Do you have any hearing damage from that?
Pretty much recovered, yeah. I'm a fast healer. It's a hell of a shot, but I'm a fast healer. Yeah, pretty much recovered.
Hearing damage from it?
No, it didn't hit that. I got very lucky. It just hit the lobe, as they call it.
Is there a scar on your ear?
Yeah, a little bit, not much. On top.
On immigration,
A little bit.
What a timeline we live in. President Trump talking about how after the assassination attempt against President Trump failed, ironic that Joe Biden immediately drops out of the race. Isn't that something quite curious? Saying that this was all stolen from Joe Biden. Go.
She was the first one that was defeated. She was the nastiest to him. She was nasty with calling him a racist and the school bus and all of the different things. She was very nasty to Biden. And shockingly, he appointed her, asked her to serve as vice president. Well, I don't know if he's happy about that decision right now. This was taken away. The presidency was taken away from Joe Biden. And I'm no Biden fan, but I'll tell you what, from a constitutional standpoint, from any standpoint you look at, they took the presidency away. And people were saying he lost after the debate. He couldn't win. Well, I don't know that that's true necessarily. But whether he could win or he couldn't win, he had the right to run. And they took it away. They said they're going to use the 25th Amendment. They're going to hit you hard. Either we can do it the nice. I know exactly, because I know a lot of people on the other side, believe it or not. And they said, we'll do it the nice way or we'll do it the hard way. And he said, all right. So that, I mean, they've really taken, what they've done is pretty incredible.
Pretty incredible. Kamala Harris, as we have said, and we're going to say it just really quickly here. Kamala Harris is an illegitimately installed candidate. She's illegitimately installed. Not a single Democrat primary voter voted for her. Not in this election, not in 2020. Kamala Harris is not real. Kamala Harris didn't get any delegates to vote for her. She didn't campaign. She didn't go through a process. First time in modern American history that this has ever happened. Kamala Harris is fake. She's not a real candidate. Yet she's making real candidate demands on President Trump, demanding that Donald Trump fulfill the obligation that Joe Biden granted with a debate on September 10th. Now, Donald Trump said yesterday that he has agreed to, he wants 3 debates, which I think would be awesome. 3 debates, but they don't want Kamala Harris to get out there. They want to hide Kamala. They want to do something far worse than what you saw in 2020. They're going to hide the hell out of Kamala. She's agreed to do one interview in the next month. The goal is to hide her because she's low IQ, because she's dumb, because she's not smart. And she's the most unlikable vice president in American history. She had a 28% approval rating. You can go check. It's a matter of historic fact. And as soon as she gets in front of the cameras, as soon as she gets in front of people in a non-sanitized way, right? These like super meticulously choreographed little events that they have her do. As soon as she steps out of that box, she's incredibly cringe. ALX, grab me that rapper clip, amazing clip that we found. Here's Kamala yesterday responding to Trump's challenge of 3 debates. Go.
Madam Vice President, Donald Trump agreed to 3 debates. Will you be participating in all 3?
I've always been on record. I am looking forward to debating Donald Trump, and we have a date of September 10th. I hear he's finally committed to it. I'm looking forward.
What about the other 2?
Let's make sure we get this photo of everyone. Look right here, right.
Okay. So coward Kamala, Commie Kamala, as we call her, has been demanding that somebody from Team Trump come up and face her face to face. Okay? Finally. And so Trump goes, all right, 3 debates. And I'll do an hour-long press conference. I'll do a 90-minute press conference, stand here and take any question you want, answer any question you want without a script, and I'll do 3 debates with you. And Kamala Harris cowers, has no media appearances planned, has not taken a single question. It's been 20 days since the coup. Not taken a single question. And in fact, the only time that the microphones outside of her plane were hot and were being used was when J.D. Vance walked up to him this week. It's Friday, so why not? This is the best clip of the week. J.D. Vance mogging Kamala Harris. Go.
I figured I'd come by and one, just get a good look at the plane. Hopefully it's going to be my plane in a few months, but I also thought you guys might get lonely because the vice president doesn't answer questions from reporters and hasn't for 17 days. Have they given you guys an explanation for why she won't take questions from reporters? No? Nobody? Okay, great. Well, I hope that she changes her mind because it'd be good for the American people, and I think it'd be good for you all if she actually ran a real campaign instead of one from a basement with a teleprompter. So have a good one, guys. See ya. What would you like to hear from her? I'd love her to answer some questions. I'd love her to just answer what she wants to do and also explain why every single position she has changed. She pretends to be a prosecutor, yet she pretends to be a tough on crime prosecutor, and yet here she is wanting to defund the police. She's the border czar, yet she's opened up the American southern border. This is a person who has to answer the questions from the media, and it's disgraceful that she wrote for you guys. It's also insulting to the American people. But anyway, we're going to go do our event. appreciate you guys being here. I wish she paid you some more attention. See ya.
What I didn't realize in that is that Kamala Harris is actually in the vehicles behind J.D. Vance as he's saying those things. The only time that anybody has gotten a question asked or answered at a Kamala Harris event has been when J.D. Vance walked over to the press gaggle and answered damn questions. Hey, do you guys know why Kamala doesn't ever answer questions? All the reporters just sat there. All these eunuch reporters. Oh, my liege. Oh, it's so humiliating. Okay, talk about humiliating. This is a fun clip that's going viral on our page. Kamala Harris asked the tough questions, man. Kamala Harris got such a tough question. It goes like this. Who's your favorite rapper? Remember, Kamala Harris is down, okay? Remember, Kamala Harris uses an accent when she's in front of specific audiences south of Mason-Dixon line. Kamala Harris loves sounding like Foghorn Leghorn or an extra in Gone with the Wind whenever she gets an opportunity to put on that fake accent. So she's down, right? Kamala Harris knows rappers. She knows she quoted Quavo at her last rally that had twerkers at it. Megan Thee Stallion. The Stallion. Not the Clydesdale, okay? Not the prancing pony. Megan Thee Stallion. All right? And don't say stallion too much. You can get Tim Waltz excited. Don't do it. Don't do it. Man, don't get the Stallion and Tim Waltz on stage together. Bad day. Bad day. Now, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Kamala Harris asked, who's your favorite rapper? Remember, Kamala Harris is down, okay? So she should be able to answer this one easy.
Best rapper alive.
Tupac.
He's not alive. You say he lives on.
But not alive. I know. I keep just.
You said, listen, West Coast girls think Tupac lives on. I'm with you. I'm with you. So Tupac, keep going.
Keep doing that. Who would I say? I mean, there's so many. I mean, you know, there are some that I would not mention right now because they should stay in their lane. But others I
I don't know what that means. I want to know who one of those are.
Keep moving.
Okay,
Keep moving, Angela.
All right. That was not supposed to be a stumper either. What about
You ever seen that Miss America pageant contest, Miss South Carolina, when she's asked about, like, you know, what she would want to do to fix the world, and she, like, talks about children in Iraq and such. It's like this famous viral clip where what she says just doesn't make any sense, the human mind or the human language, anywhere. That's Kamala Harris. That's Kamala Harris. This is why this is why they are so desperate to hide her. She can't answer the question, what's your favorite rapper? Go to the hood, man. Go to the hood. Not even her friend Quavo. That's right. It's producers. Not even Quavo. Her friend, as my friend Quavo says. Oh, God, it's so cringe. Oh, Lord, let them be exposed. Go to the hood. Newsmax did, and asked people, what do you think about Kamala? And the answers were...
She's using her color. I thought that Martin Luther King said the color wasn't the issue. I thought it was the content of our character that we were supposed to be recognized for. But if she's going to keep running on that color, she's going to have a misconception about how black people really wrong.
If you bring somebody into office that looks like you, but then continues to detriment your community, what was that for? But if you choose somebody who can raise your community, then you chose the right one. Yes. Wait, so
who do you choose?
Personally, I choose Trump.
I'm looking for who I think is more qualified to run the country. That's all I'm looking at.
Black Latinos are starting to be a little bit more critical. They're fed up of their hard-earned money going to illegal, undocumented people.
Kamala Harris did not do a good job on the border because from what I know, a lot of people were coming from the other side and doing a lot of bad things to what we call home.
I think she's not a good candidate for president because she's with Joe Biden for the past 2 years. A wreck up in New York, you know.
Colors don't matter, man.
Right, they don't.
Ask God, man.
That's true. So what do you think about a candidate that uses their race as a selling point? Do you think
That's some weird
That's weird?
You lost. You lost already, 2024. If you racist today, you lost. Nobody going against Trump.
It's not about race. It's about what they provide for the society, is what they could do for the community.
With her putting a lot of black Americans in jail for the marijuana, they're not really going for her.
We also got people's thoughts on Trump's recent comments on Harris's ethnicity.
She was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black.
Yeah, she was Hindu when it suited her purpose, you know, and now that she's running, the black vote suits her purpose. So, like Trump said, you know, now she's black.
Donald Trump is absolutely right. Her mother is Indian, her father is Irish Hindu, and she's always presented herself as Indian.
What do you think about Trump saying Kamala Harris is black? I thought she was Indian. She was saying she was Indian.
That's my response. Trump is an open book, yo. Facts.
That's just Trump being Trump. I don't believe he's racist. I don't even think he has a racist bone in his body.
Trump said that Kamala Harris always portrayed herself to be Indian, and now all of a sudden she's saying she's black.
Right? Nah, she's really Indian. She just want our support. She trying to snatch our support away from Trump. But that's not how that's going down.
You know, have these fine Americans ever heard Kamala Harris dig deep and say 2024? Have you ever heard it? Have you ever heard it? It'll change your entire mind on Kamala, okay? Let's go. The girl who was raised in Quebec by two professors, here's how she sounds.
And you all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024. Yes, we will. Yes.
Just one more, because it's too funny. Go.
Hold on. You know what? Here, hold on. Here's the thing. The courts are going to handle that. We're going to beat them in November. We're going to beat them in November. Okay? We'll beat them in November. We'll handle that.
You remember Hillary Clinton said she carries hot sauce in her purse? It's like every day. It's that clip. Every day is that clip. Remember Hillary Clinton? I ain't no ways tired. I've come too far. If I ever want to like make sure I don't sleep at night, I think about that in the back of my head, and it echoes and jangles around and keeps me awake at night. Honestly, keeps me awake at night. One final thing, keep you awake at night. So the nursing home hospice that the White House has turned into wheeled out its patient yesterday, and Joe Biden did not do a great job with the World Series champions Texas Rangers, regularly asking, "What am I doing?" Enjoy.
Thank you. All right, what am I doing now? Still my jersey?
Distinguished guests, please remain in your seats as the President departs. Thank you.
I hate the Democrat Party with every fiber of my being. With every atom in my mortal soul. I hate the Democrat Party for doing this to our nation. Part of me thinks that this is just an act, like they hate America so much that it's like really fun for them to denigrate these offices and humiliate us on a national scale, and that this is like all part of a plan. Joe Biden yesterday at an event like talking about high school students being Latino. I think this is the same event, although I don't know why he would say something like this.
It matters a lot. Local schools, feeding and educating children, it matters. Cultural centers, celebrating Latino history and Latino culture, which everybody ought to start learning more about. By the way, parenthetically, you know that 28 out of every high school student is Latino. We better start figuring it out. And the health.
Okay. So I make fun of Joe Biden a lot. We have so many AIs on Joe Biden, and it's so humiliating. Joe Biden in a helmet, Joe Biden drooling, Joe Biden in a wheelchair, Joe Biden being pushed off a cliff. I'm not gonna elaborate. I'm going to literally repeat to you what Joe Biden just said. 28 out of every high school student is Latino. We better figure that out. We had Seth Dillon of the Babylon Bee on the show the other day, and he's like, reality, parody is indistinguishable from reality. He says, we can't write headlines anymore at the Babylon Bee. They all keep coming true. It's a really scary time. Okay? I get in the flux, get me the DeLorean. I want the flux capacitor. We need to go back. We need to go back. Okay? 28 out of the high school students are Latino. We need to figure that out. Sounds like a job for Corn Pop. Oh boy. All right. This is a job for the Benny Brigade. The Ask Benny Anything of the week from Rebecca Vance. Ooh, nice. Rebecca Vance. Okay. Was the Secret Service female walking by J.D. Vance any relation? Kamala playing the same as the Ghostbusters female who was not holstering her gun. Just curious and nervous for J.D. Vance if so. Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, you should effectively. We just heard Mike Waltz make some news on the program about the Lady Ghostbusters and about the DEI hire being in charge of the Trump shooting. So who was that person? Name and shame. When it comes to the poor local officers who were put in these terrible positions, I'm not going to name and shame. When it comes to the Secret Service agents who are paid by our federal tax dollars, I will name and shame. Who was it? He says it's a female DEI agent who's a real problem. And she's the one who kept Trump on stage. Makes you wonder. There's a shooter. Yeah, keep him up there. Maybe something good will happen. That's probably what she was thinking. I don't know. Let's see what the investigation says. But yeah, Rebecca Vance, here's what should happen. Every single Secret Service agent should raise all the standards, and then every Secret Service agent should have to pass those standards that say you can be an agent. Sorry, I'm not going to ever be able to play in the NBA. I'm not good at basketball. That's just the physical reality of me. The NBA isn't racist against me. I just won't ever be able to play in the NBA or any professional sports league for that matter, because I'm not good enough. Tough luck. They're not racist against me. They're not like discriminating against me. It's a meritocracy. The teams want to make money. And so I shouldn't be dribbling a basketball around because I'm no good at it. So if you're a girl, if you're a person, if you're just a human being who's a really, really short, nasty little man, if you're Adam Kinzinger, he's like a little midget. Michael Bloomberg, Robert De Niro with his lifts in his shoes. You ever seen that ridiculous photo of Robert De Niro with the lifts in his shoes? You're Robert De Niro. And so you're 5'0", and Donald Trump's 6'3". He's one of our he's the third tallest president in history. You shouldn't be allowed to guard him. It actually has nothing to do with your gender if you pass all the qualifications, but you are not physically able. I'm not physically able to play in the NBA. I'm not physically good enough. You're not physically able to guard a protectee that's 6'3". So why the hell is it happening? Why is it going on? Run a mile. Can you run a mile in under 7 minutes? That's really important. Like, are you physically in shape enough to like jump on stage? Can you jump on stage? These are important questions. And they are physical realities to the world. The reality has a right-wing bias, as we always say on this program. Sorry, reality has a right-wing bias. There are biological facts and biological realities, and we are not. We are created equal in the eyes of God, but we are not equal in our skills or in our gifts. That's also biblical. So there you go. Casey Palmer says, my vote for Kamala Harris, cackling commie. We did do nicknames earlier, and the cackling commie, I like. I do, in fact, like that. We do call her. We call her Commie Kamala. Let's pop on a couple of super chats here. I want to do super chats because these are questions from the Benny Brigade. We want you to sign up for the Benny Brigade if you wish to support the journalism that we do on the show. We have so much more coming your way. But super chats also. I want to make sure that we give love to the super chats. Thank you for all you do, Benny. We appreciate the truth. Well, thank you, Carolyn. We appreciate you. It's all possible because we're in this movement together, right? Here we go. Charles says, yeah, this cop looks bad, but he would not have been in this position had not failed as a Secret Service. Let's not lose focus. Don't lose sight of that. You're exactly right, Charles. I hope that we made that clear on the show, that there can be like a microcosm failure, but when you zoom out, these are big failures. But it's important for men to be brave. Benny, don't get distracted by this, says Rick. The only question is where the police snipers on the second floor. The video destroys the I went downstairs with my partner in the door story. Well, we look forward to seeing more video. The truth shall set you free. This is what we were told by, I can tell you, this is what we were told by a member of the security team that was there on site that day. So this is at the very least, what we reported was the internal story that's being passed around by the service agents who we know to be the most honorable and the highest sources. But as ever, I'm totally open to information. Right behind DJT, ALX. Look, it's an ALX shout out from Patrick. Right behind Donald Trump, ALX. Blow up the original video and slowly move through the motions. He's clearly saluting behind the sign, the brim of his cap, before the firing. Zoom in, it's clear as day. ALX, were you there? Is he saying ALX was there? I don't think so. I think he's asking our executive producer, ALX, to like zoom in on the footage. Well, we look forward to doing that. Thank you for your question. Thank you for your comment here, Patrick. We want to study every single last frame and second of this. Wayne says the FBI and Secret Service are guilty and should be charged for attempted murder on our president. You're exactly right. Trump is so obvious. Freaking Blue's Clues could solve this. You're right. That's right, Wayne. Lady Trucker says, excellent work, Benny. Follow Trump's lead. Fight, fight, fight. That's exactly right. You're going to fight, fight, fight. There are quite a few people saying that they think this was a setup. The Christian Mindset says, guys, jokes, no guts, say it was painfully obvious to everyone else. It was a setup. The heart of the matter. Only two options, negligence or intent. I've got to tell you, this is why I asked Mike Waltz. I have nothing against Mike Waltz, but you're going to get tough questions on this program. We're not going to go easy on you. Like, thank you for coming on, but we're going to, did the government plan to kill Trump? Expect that question when you come on the show. Thank you for sharing the truth. It says Masterpiece. Thank you for always sharing the truth. Trump 2024. Yep. That's exactly right. That's what we're here for. Salt and light. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's get salty here with our salty Psalms 37, our verse of the day. Commit everything you do to the Lord. Trust him, and he will help you. He will make your innocence radiate like dawn, and the justice of your cause will shine like the noonday sun. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is, in fact, exactly what we should do. And obviously, this is something that you have to like step back and, we have a news show here, right? But it's so easy at the end of every show, even though it may be depressing, like shows like these are depressing. I don't like seeing the realities of our government and that they're willing to kill a president. I don't like seeing that. It makes me really sad that that's the case. It makes me very depressed that that's the case. And they would have been totally, there probably would have been people celebrating inside of our federal government had there been a live execution on TV that day. But our hope is in the Lord. Our hope is not in one man. Our hope is not in a party. Our hope is not in a movement. And we think that those things are all vehicles, actually, for the truth. And the truth, ladies and gentlemen, is that we trust in the Lord. That's it. We trust in the Lord, and our cause will shine like the noonday sun. That's what's going to happen. This entire moment is all going to collapse It's all fake. It's all a sugar high. And you're starting to see the fundamentals of this country are strong. And evil has been defeated before, and it shall be defeated again. And all that God ever asks, especially even in hopeless cases, Sodom and Gomorrah, right? All that God ever asks, show me one good man. Show me one good woman. Show me one. And I'll save the whole place. I'll save the whole nation. And so be that one good man. With me. Please. I'm not saying I'm a good man. I'm saying like the best we can do. Be simple Christians. Just try. Just set your heart on what's true. Say every morning, Christ is King. And make that your affirmation. And be counted among like that one good man can save the whole nation. As we showed you in the video, the Bodycam video, one good man can change everything. So be that with us, ladies and gentlemen. As we head into our weekend in this, the greatest country on earth, it's your boy Benny. This is the Benny Show. See ya.
Where the truth gon' be, faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be, faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be, faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light.